Hi everybody. So today I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to show you some of my pattern stash. So these are the patterns that I'm keeping for myself to use one day. I also have a lot of vintage sewing patterns that I sell in my Etsy shop, a lot of which are listed, and also I still have a bunch that I need to check over and list. So maybe I'll get to that sometime this summer too, with this resurgence of my love of sewing. But these are all the ones that I have chosen to keep for myself. And obviously there's some modern stuff in here, but there's also some great vintage stuff. And today I wanted to go through and show you all the vintage dress patterns that I'm keeping for myself because I love them, and part of the reason I started selling them was I wanted to share them with people, and I just wanted to be able to talk about them with people, so I'm doing that now. So this one is an advanced pattern, which is the New York Times designer series, Patterns of the Times. Yeah, the number is torn off here, but it's pattern 5818 by Advance. I like this one partially because it actually credits who the designer is. It's not just the company. Here. Stop that being so shiny. But I love this one. I love the buttons down the side of the skirt, and the giant collar. And also without the collar is cute too. I think this would be just the perfect summer sundress. Now I should warn you ahead of time, a lot of these are, a lot of the ones I've kept are shirt dresses, just because I love a shirt dress. This little thing is just a note to myself. When I'm checking the patterns, when I put them in my Etsy shop, I always check if they're missing if they have all their pattern pieces or if they're missing anything. And obviously I'm keeping this one for me for now, but it is complete. I checked off the complete button. It does say it's a 32 bust, which is a little small, but I find a lot of patterns have a lot of ease, so I've kept a range of patterns between about 32 to 36 is the size I usually keep. Any smaller than that is way too small, and any bigger is too big. And I usually just hope that something will fit me in that range. So this one I bought at an antique fair, which is probably one of the last large group gatherings I went to in 2020 in February. I think that was February. It could have been even early March. So that was the last time I did that type of thing. So this is a Vogue pattern. It's Vogue 6135, and it's amazing because if you look, it's got a built-in cape. It's a dress with cape that's sort of built on and into the sleeve. I bought this one just because I wanted to see how it was put together. Like if you look at the line drawing, it shows it a little better. But still, it makes me wonder, what does that piece look like? So this one I bought, as I said, at an antique fair or antique market, so I don't even know at this point if it has all its pieces. I haven't checked it. So I'm hoping it does, because this would be a crazy make. This would be a crazy thing to do, and who doesn't want their own cape attached to their dress? This is another cute one. I mean, they're all cute. That's why I'm keeping them. So this is Simplicity 3973. It's, again, a shirt dress that has either the collar or this little sort of tie thing. I love this stripy one. I love the pattern art on these as well. This is part of why I enjoy keeping them. And maybe why I've kept so many and yet haven't made any of these vintage patterns. So you can see here that the skirt is nice and full and it's really nipped in at the waist. I've found some where it looks all nice and nipped like that in the drawing on the front, but when you actually look at the pattern sketch and you look at the pattern pieces, it's all done by the belt. Like it's not actually that nipped in the pattern, it's just strategic belt. But from this little line drawing, that looks serious. Okay, this one's Simplicity 4399, and it's got an asymmetrical closure, which I think is so cool. And it comes in pencil skirt or full skirt style, and sleeves or no sleeves. This one definitely feels like it's been used. You can tell because it's a lot thicker than a lot of the other envelopes. The ones that probably haven't been removed from the factory folds stay nice and thin like this, like they would have been in the store. But then you can tell that someone has unfolded and used these pieces, which is also kind of cool. Like, you know that some other seamstress 50 years ago made this dress. So again, this is one I've checked, and it isn't complete. We're missing the right collar and the armhole facing have been ripped in half, according to my notes. Although I didn't note if we have both pieces, because if you have both pieces, that's fine. Just stick them back together again. I've kept a lot of simplicity patterns so far. This is Simplicity 4960, and some of the things I loved about this one are the little pointy cuffs on the sleeves. It's got an interesting set in sleeve shape. It's sort of kind of dolman. And also the buttons, they're in groups of 3. So you get the 3 buttons and then a space and then 3 buttons and a space and 3 buttons. Which, I mean, you don't really see details like that in clothes nowadays. Or if you do, it's super expensive. This is a one-piece dress in half sizes. This trimly tailored dress features short cuffed sleeves set in a stylized armhole. That's what they call that. Open neckline has curved lapels and shaped collar. There's a front button closing and a moderately flared skirt. Collar and cuffs may be detailed with top stitching, narrow braid, or ribbon. Armhole may be top stitched. Cuffs may be trimmed with 2 buttons. So that's a moderate skirt, according to them. And this one is complete, according to my little note I left myself. So I could. Oh, this is a 33 bust. So a little small, but again, you never know with the ease. I definitely want to make a mock-up, at least of the top part, to see how it fits before I cut into good fabric. Okay, Simplicity again, Simplicity 3589, and I know immediately why I kept this one. Look at the scalloped front on that blue version. That's amazing, and there's little sort of sweetheart scallops there, but that scalloped button band, I love it. Actually, this lady has the same sort of pointy winged cuff, or similar, as this lady. I wonder if they know each other. This is a size 34. They call it a coat dress. I would call it a shirt dress, but is there a difference? What is the difference? This coat dress is styled with short kimono sleeves. The skirt is 7 gored. Style 1 is trimmed with 4 rows of edge stitching. Style 2 with scallops. Sleeves in style 2 are shaped. Style 2 is the one I want to do. Again, I don't seem to have left myself a note about whether this one's complete or not, but for my sake, I hope it is. I'm running out of space on the desk, so these ladies can just live here and show us their beautifully pointed toes. Okay, here's some headless ladies. Again, this is Simplicity. According to the handwriting, it's a size 36 bust. It's number 4260. Again, that's been ripped off along with these ladies' heads. Again, I think I'm a sucker for the details. So I love these 2 little points coming up on this version of the dress. Again, number 2. Look at number 2, shoes. I love those shoes. But I mean, I'd be perfectly happy with the little shawl collar on that one. Simple to make dress. Has short kimono sleeves and bodice underarm section for freedom of action. Let's get some freedom of action in our dresses, ladies. Concealed pockets, okay. Oh, I didn't even notice that before. Okay, this one has suddenly risen on the list between the pockets and the fact that it's a 36, which I know will be the right size, if not a little too big. I might need to take it in, but pockets. I normally add pockets to any skirt or dress I sew, even if they're not already in there. But that's just so cute how they're in the folds of the skirt like that. This, it's our first non-simplicity. Butterick 30, size 34, Butterick number 8038. It's a ball gown, or it could be a ball gown. I think even these ones are cocktail dresses. This is a little too dressy, but I love this drape. Like, that's amazing. And you can have sleeves, sleeveless, full skirt, pencil skirt. I love it. Couldn't you imagine Joan from Mad Men in, say, this one? Oh, look at the shape of the piece that has the drape. Okay, so that's her right arm. So the right side drapes up to the left shoulder. Yeah, so that's the right front. And this is the bit that drapes up to the left shoulder. And then the left front has a little extra bit, which must be under there. I love sewing from patterns. I'm not someone who's going to be designing my own stuff any day soon, because I just can't wrap my head around how you draft that. Like, how you have this idea and then you get these bits. It's just amazing to me. But look at the skirt. Skirt is a rectangle. Back, side, front. They attach to these bits. I mean, I guess that's all you need. Well, here's a fun one. Here's a slightly different era. There's been a lot of sort of 50s, 60s and early 60s stuff. This looks 70s. So I think this is one of those mail order ones that usually comes in just came in an envelope to you in the mail. You ordered it from the newspaper or wherever. It's fun having those envelopes sometimes, because then you can see the person's name who owned it. But this is a fun little wrap dress with a little sort of extra fabric there to drape. Prominent designer, size 14. Again, like, who looks at these shapes and thinks that becomes a dress? I don't. I need instructions. I need someone to tell me what to do, but I think this would be really nice for summer too. This is another name I hadn't heard before, Weagles. Weigels? I remember looking it up at the time. I think it was an Australian, it's an Australian department store maybe that sold patterns. But this looks really cute, and I think you could sew this in like a firm, a firm sweatshirting or a scuba type knit. I think that'd be fun, because it doesn't call for a knit. I don't know what it calls for, but yeah, for some reason I just pictured this in like a sweatshirty fabric, so it could be a nice dress but also super comfy secret pajamas. Again, pockets worked in there. These ones have little cuffs. Oh, I wonder if this one is not a pocket, if that's just a seam, and if you want the pocket you have to do the welt like that. Again, very cute, 3 different views. So this is the one that started it all for me, that started my Etsy shop. This Butterick 2799. I owned this one. I can't remember where I bought it the first time, because yes, I bought it more than once. And then I was at one of my favorite antique shops in Toronto, and they had a big selection of vintage patterns. And I spent so long looking through them all, and I picked out just 4 for myself after a long time, brought them home. One of them was this one that I already had. I obviously like it, which means I have to make it at some point. For some reason, agonizing over which 4 to buy, and then one of those 4 ending up being something I already owned, made me go back to the antique shop and just buy all the patterns. So I agonized over 4, and then I went back like a week later and bought 400. So I don't know what that says about me, but this is fabulous. I love those lines, those seam lines there. This little lady has a little bow on the seam lines. You know, I never think about brooches, and if I do, I would never just plonk one right in the middle of my chest like that, but maybe I need to start doing things like that. This is Mrs. Semi-Fit dress. Oh yeah, that was the other interesting thing about this Wiggles pattern. They call it an A-line skimmer. So it is more 60s. I guess it's just meant to sort of skim your shape. And it seems a little bit like this is doing the same thing as well. And again, I love the pattern illustrations. You can just imagine that shiny brocade that they've somehow managed to translate into the dress, into the drawing, I mean. This one has my note to self already right on the front. Okay, so this looks more sort of 40s to me, and you can see it's a different, where'd all those simplicities go? The logo and the writing is different. But yeah, this is a cute little sort of 40s wrap dress. Again with the, there we go, with the asymmetric buttons. Simplicity was getting inspiration from themselves. This is the 40s version, and this is the 50s version. Higher neck here. And I know I love this partly for the asymmetrical buttons. Oh, and the pocket. But I also love this little scalloped collar. But from my note, it's missing the collar. The pocket I think I could figure out. The pocket looks like a rectangle. But the reason I kept this one was the collar, and then I eventually went through it and this piece was missing. I still think it's cute. I still might make the non-collar version, and maybe I'll keep my eye out for another version to see if I can get one with the collar. So this is Simplicity 3782. I'm actually, I think that says size 16. Let's look at the inside on this one. How cute are they? She's got a book. She looks like a book in this drawing. What is a book? She's going to the library. Coming from the library. But yeah, I need to figure out how to get my hands on that piece for size 16. That's neat. How to adjust the pattern. It shows you where the length and shorten lines are and where the darts, how all the different pieces line up. That's really neat. And then lastly, I've got a couple New York patterns. This New York 1213, cute shirt dress. I like how they've color blocked this one with the collar and the fronts. That's interesting over the sleeve. I wonder if that's just over the shoulder or if that's part of the back. And look at the size of the pockets on this guy. Huge pockets. So it looks like that part that you see here, looks like that's just part of the back. So the shoulder seam is brought forward, which is sort of neat, especially if you're going to color block it that way, or if you could outline it with some top stitching. And then the last one I have is definitely got wet at some point. And I like this square neck. Actually, I like the collar as well. I mean, I wouldn't have kept any of these if I didn't want to make them at some point. So this is a size 34, so was this one. I'm pretty sure I bought these together. So whoever was selling them, I bet had a collection from one person. Ooh, you can really see the wet there. First dress has square neck, shorter long sleeves, buttons from neck to below waist, outside belt. Second dress is sleeveless, has high neck and collar, buttons from neck to below waist, outside belt. Oh, I didn't notice that at first. The buttons only go to here, and then this part is sewn. There's no button band there. So thanks for looking through my pattern collection with me. It was really fun to sort of go through these and talk about why I kept certain things and what I liked about certain things, and my sadness over having lost, over someone, it wasn't me, someone having lost this beautiful collar piece. At least I like to think that it's missing because it was used, because that is an adorable dress that really deserves to be used, really deserves to be made. I keep the more fragile ones in the plastic envelopes to keep all the pieces together, and also then I can stick stuff like this to the front. As much as I love some of these shirt dresses, I think maybe I'll make this one this summer. I think I'm going to leave this one to the side and pick one of the shirt dresses to leave out as well, and maybe I'll actually finally make one of these vintage patterns. So that lady, and that I think I want to do in sweatshirt, so that's definitely, save that for a colder time of year. Maybe this one. But maybe this one, I could get my scallop fill there. Don't need a ball gown. This one can go away again. Oh, maybe these ladies. I also really like how this one, they made it look like separates. Just with some color blocking and a sash. It looks like you've got 3 different things, but it's just one dress. The cape will wait. Well, maybe this one. Okay. Now I need to choose one of these 3 to make. Leave me a comment telling me which one you would make out of, let's say out of these 3. What should I make before the end of summer? The Advance with the asymmetrical buttons down the side. The Simplicity, again asymmetrical. I would make this one because I love a full skirt. Simplicity 4399, or this amazing one with the scalloped front. Oh, or this one with the little wing sleeves and the pointy inset sleeve cap thing. I am really enjoying the scallops, but I'll see what you guys have to say. So we've got pointy sleeves red lady, scalloped blue dot lady, turquoise stripe with asymmetrical buttons, white dress giant collar asymmetrical buttons. What would you do? What should I do? Oh, see, I'd already forgotten about this one. This is why I never make any of them, because I look at them all and I think, yes, this. Oh, no, that. Oh, I get distracted. I'll do this one. I'll do that one. And I get so distracted. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for leaving a comment with what you think would be the best to make. Yeah, and leave a comment, click subscribe, click like. Anything you do is very helpful. And again, I would love to hear your opinions on these guys. And I swear I'm not trying to influence the voting by holding this one up, but I think I love this one the most.